Now we've learnt our kerning workaround in Canva, we can start applying this in a real life example. I could argue that we have already, and it's been a few days since I've last picked up this tutorial. One thing I'd like to say before jumping in and start editing the text is it's always good to have a bit of a break if you can work around that. Come back, have a look at the design when it's fresh in the mind. If you still like it, it's a winner. And coming back and looking at this, well, actually, there were a few issues that I wanted to pick out last time, but that would have spoilt this particular tutorial. So what we're going to do is duplicate this graphic. And if we recall, we've got all of these characters as separate layers grouped together. We're going to ungroup that in a minute, but in the meantime, what I'm going to do is get a little bit more contrast here. One thing I'm not overly happy with is the contrast between, say, the white and then the light green, and then we've got this yellowy green background here. The contrast isn't quite sharp enough. So what we're going to do is actually change the background color to the darkest green, and then change all of these to the lightest. You see what happened there? Even though they're grouped, I've only selected one of the characters. So if I click, hold, and drag with the mouse across them all, so that should then allow you to change the color of all characters. So we want to make sure we haven't lost any features. Before we start editing the text, and I want to show you a text overlap effect today, we can have a look at creating some accents here, just on the edge here. What I'm looking for is a diagonal stripe. So we've got lighter color, lighter color, as if it's taken a top-down photograph of a sports pitch. Here's one option. We've still got our chalk line search in place. I could use this one, but that one's quite busy. I can have a look at see all and see if there's any options that could work really nicely for me. Maybe that one would work really well if it wasn't for the arrowhead. So that's something we could potentially have a look at. Got too many layers together there. Double click on it. Take the arrowhead off the shape. Double click again to go out of the cropping mode. And then we can rotate that shape. And then enlarge it. We've lost a bit of clarity here, so even if we try and change it to the color I'm looking for, you can see it's too blurred, so that we're going to reject that option. We could do it on that one, but there's not quite enough of the feature to make it worthwhile. So we may well go back to the previous examples, maybe even this one here. A lot of the designing process in Canva is just playing around with various features to get the effect that you're after. Quite like this because it still brings through some of the background in as well. And if I change it to the lighter color, there we go. The alternative is this one here. We'll put one either side and see which one we prefer. So I might rotate that one to that angle. I think that looks more natural, but obviously you may have a different take on it. But what I can do now is copy and paste, Control C and V, and I might just use the other edge of it along the bottom so it's not mirrored and identical. So that takes it out of the strict line shape. I suppose we wouldn't be overly happy with the groundsman if they were cutting lines like that, but that gives us something a little bit different. Okay, on to the main part of this tutorial, and we're going to have a look at each of these characters and apply an effect so we have each character overlapping the one behind it. It should give it a bit more punch, although we can already see the difference between the two. This one is more striking because we're looking at higher contrast between the text and the background color. What I can do now is ungroup. And I'm going to start on the right-hand side. I'm going to bring the element to the front. And I'm going to Effects. And I'm going to use the shadow effect. The last thing I'll do actually is change that color. And I'm going to change it to match the background because I don't want an overly strong shadow effect. But this is the text effect style. Really handy. Lots of flexibility with it as well. So I'm going to take the transparency right the way up to 100%. I'm going to reduce the offset and also change the direction so it's mainly going to the right and take the offset in again. I don't want it to be overly strong. And then I'm going to increase the blur. So that starts to look a little fuzzy. Now by changing the drop shadow color, of course it's going to be invisible on this character. We can now bring them each to the front, one in front of the other. There we go. So if I've done that correctly, we've got one more step, and that is to apply this drop shadow effect to each of these characters individually. The good news is, by selecting the one we've already done, we've got the copy style option available. So I'm going to select that, and now I'm going to start selecting characters individually. I'm just hovering over so I can see the bounding box around the C. It's quite fiddly on this one, so I just need to get the right point. If you're struggling with that, you can move them apart just to apply the effect and then back together afterwards. Because we're applying the effect to each of these, I can just keep going across one. I don't have to keep selecting the H every time as well. There we go. So you can already get a rough idea of what I'm trying to achieve here. And now I'm going to shift by eye using manual kerning to get them as close as I can, but in a way that we can still read the text comfortably. I might just nudge it with the arrow keys. Okay, so we've got that working quite nicely now. I can just adjust them by selecting them all and moving them back to center because they will have moved. I might try one more effect by selecting the A, holding down the shift, and then the C. I might alternate the letters again to make sure that they jump out and are easy to read. I can now carry out that same process by ungrouping characters at the bottom. Oops, did that the wrong way around. I'll try again. I select the style I want to copy first, then apply it. Actually, I might do it the other way around at the bottom. So again, I select the A, then the D. Okay, I've messed that one up nicely, so I'm just going to get the A back to with the shadow effect and quickly update it. I'm going to bring the right one to the front first. It already is. So. There we go. Okay, we got there. Don't need quite as much of an overlap on the bottom text. Finally, I'm going to group both lots of text. Align them to the center. Just check that we've got similar spacing above and below. It doesn't have to be exact because this line isn't exact. It's that chalk brush effect. If we want to, then finally we can group. We'll select all of these items combined, and it creates a dotted bounding box around it. And now I can move it. So I have that bang on center. We've got a lot of space for the design to breathe. We've got these effects either side, and that's just a nice, impactful and simple graphic that we can add for our match day.